I don't miss alcohol, but there was that 5 minutes or so.
6 years ago, I was one of the first people to carry non-alc drinks, and people thought I was losing my mind. 6 years later, Total Wine has half of their store dedicated to functional non-alcoholic beverages.
Wow. How did you sell almost 3,000 cans by yourself?
I went to farmers market, expos. I worked with local events companies, and that's really how we have went through our first pallet. A lot of the liquor brands you drink are owned by one or two companies, and they have a bunch underneath. They get help from behind the scenes, marketing. They have people that they can consult with.
We are majority owners of the company. It's very rare that a company like this would have outside investors who put in $100. You get upside if we do well. In the meantime, you get quarterly updates from us. We do ask surveys, what do you think maybe our next flavor should be or something like that. That's where your $100 really gets to work. And nobody should invest more than they are willing to have illiquid, but it's a lot of fun to be on the inside, kind of behind the scenes of it. Drew, we are having a really cool moment right now. And well, first of all, congratulations for you, because I know this is a big moment for both of us.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, it's a big moment for both of us. And I wanted to spend some time. There are people who are very curious about this partnership that we have and this merger and what is it exactly. And they have been asking me on the Yachtwater Global side to invest. And I didn't really want to do a big round of investment from venture capital or anything like that, even though I'm a VC. Because I'm a VC, I didn't want to do it because I really think it's important for us to maintain control of the company and to at the same time give a lot of voice to people who may not be able to afford $100,000 or something to invest. So right now people can invest as little as $100 and be official investors in this brand. So that's what I want to talk about today. So first of all, Can you just say a little bit about you and a little bit about Gem, and then we'll get into what's happening with the two companies.
Yeah. So for those who don't know me, I'm Drew Davis. I founded one of the first non-alcoholic bottle shops in the entire world. I think the second in the country in 2020. And I really, I struggled with health, my relationship with alcohol, and I really wanted to create something special and different. And I did. And it's really exciting. And I think as I took all that experience over the last couple of years, I started toying with the idea of having my own beverage. And what that meant was putting my whole experience into a can or a drink that I can have others share in community and feel seen. And I launched a pilot of Gem Blends in May of 2025. And then a month later, I met Arlan, and it just felt very kismet of where we were on our journeys and how we get to the next level.
Yes. And with people who don't know what Gem Blends is, what you have behind you, I have behind me, I have here. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't wait to talk about this. Okay. But what is Gem Blends?
So Gem Blends is a functional beverage. We wanted to use very clean ingredients. I think there's 7 ingredients total. It's low sugar. It has adaptogens and functional ingredients, some of them. So the new one has magnesium, and most of us are deficient. So we wanted it to do something to our bodies and nourish us from within, but also taste good and not have a lot of sugar and junk in there.
And when it says adaptogen, so it says adaptogen infused. What does that mean?
Yeah. So we use herbs that they call adaptogens that adapt to your body better than you would pharmaceutical grade. So it's stuff that we find in the earth, plants, flowers that actually can adapt to our bodies better. Now, everybody's different. So I always say double check to make sure those adaptogens align with your goals and your health. Yeah. But we try to use things that across the board are not necessarily FDA approved, because a lot of this stuff, but we make sure that they're approved by the food and beverage companies, that these can be put in beverages and consumed by others.
Yeah, because FDA approval is a long process and it's very specific, and you can't claim that it's FDA approved. But they're also when we think about getting into, we'll talk about this, but getting into certain groceries, they have their certain standards that you have to have. And because, there's they have thousands of brands that they've worked with. And so that's what we're aiming for. And then when you think about, so I want to kind of get to the fact that what we're doing is we're joining forces So I have Yachtwater, and Yachtwater is trademarked in 30 plus countries, including every country in the EU, which is, it
Yeah.
took 2 years to do this. Like it was such a, like more, almost 2 years to do this process. It is not trademarked in the US. We lost that trademark battle, which is a whole other story. But that was like devastating. And when it happened, I got so down. And I usually don't get down about stuff like this, like business. But I did get down because I'd been working on it for so long. But then I was like, wait a minute. The USA is not the only country in the world. And there's so
Right.
many people around the world. And when you think about this from a business standpoint, to be able to have 30 plus and counting trademarks across the globe, the potential for growth is so amazing. And so you take the Yachtwater brand, we're going to call it something else in the US.
Yes.
That's waters, sparkling waters. When you take that and then you take gem blends, which in itself is a whole vibe, these are two major types of beverages that are killing it right now. And so when I think
Yeah.
about like the excitement of just having this product out there, I also think about, wow, we're really tackling two lanes that are on the upward trend right now when it comes to, I mean, we both of us like look at all the industry data and
Yeah.
all of that all the time. And it's just like, it's just undeniable. So what we're doing is like, we're combining. So Gem Blends is now part of Yachtwater Global. Yachtwater is part of Yachtwater Global. And we have co-founded Yachtwater Global, which is just so cool. So
Yeah.
you get to do your thing because I think, you mentioned earlier about health and about relationship with alcohol. When I'm drinking the new gem flavor, which is lemon lime with a hint of ginger, when
Yeah.
I'm drinking it, and I've been sober for it'll be it's 8.5 years, and I'm
Yeah.
drinking this, and there's like I don't smoke weed or anything like that either. It's just my personal preference. And when I drink this, there's
Okay.
a calm that comes over me. And what I said to someone yesterday when I was drinking like this ice cold, delicious lemon lime, and then that ginger. I mean, that ginger really makes it for me because it makes
Oh,
it
good.
like, yeah, it makes it like it feels like you want to drink it with like a really great meal. Like it's just really
Mhm.
nice. But what I said was, it's funny. I was like, this is like the first 5 minutes of drinking alcohol. It's like the best part of drinking alcohol is this like this
Yeah.
calm feeling. And it's not like so, it doesn't bring you down. It doesn't make you feel so, at least for me. And I don't, like you said before, I
Yeah.
want
I
everybody
love
to,
that explanation. I
but
love that also we're doing this real time because we literally just got our product this week. So like what
yes.
you're sharing with me, I'm like have chills because I'm like hearing it for the first time.
Yeah, and we want to be very like we want to be so protective of our customers and our audience.
Yeah.
This has it's an adaptogen, so different people are going to have different feelings with it. So you should look at the ingredients. You might even run it through AI and say, how does this affect me, or might this affect me? For instance, my one of my best friends, he can't take ashwagandha, which is in the very first is in your other what is
It's
the
in this first one,
yeah
our first passion fruit, which we will be reformulating
yeah.
more than likely to have the magnesium on our second run.
Oh, great, great. So just for instance,
Yeah.
like, just being as honest as
Yeah.
possible, some people can't take certain things. But as I was saying, it's like I don't miss alcohol. It used to make me feel so sick. I used to have hangovers that would last days. It would make me feel shame. I wouldn't be in control of
Mm.
what I said or did. But there was that 5 minutes or so that was like, oh, this has calmed me from a stressful day,
Yeah.
or I can celebrate a little bit and get a little free or something. And that's what I
Yeah.
felt. I was like, oh, and it
Okay.
just stays
Love
that
that.
way. And then you don't have any like, there was no
Yeah. It
crash.
doesn't go any further.
Yes. It's not like I was
Yeah.
like breaking chairs and, wrecking hotel rooms
Yeah.
or making really bad
So we
decisions.
are kindred spirits because I love the first sip of alcohol when I'm like, ooh, I can like take a beat, but
Yeah.
then it just never. I always was jealous of the person that could just have one drink. That was
Exactly.
never me. So that's how I love that you describe that like that, because that's how it makes me feel. Like I'm like, oh, I'm in a state of like flow and calmness and my nervous system is calm, but I'm not going to ruin my life in about 5 hours.
Right.
After,
Right.
you know what I mean?
And
Like,
as far as I know, there's again, please check with your doctors. I
yeah.
don't believe it's addictive. And so even
Mhm.
like someone who is like, well, I just smoked some weed for that. I know that when I used to smoke weed, it would become a crutch for me. I would have to have more and it would always have to be around, and I
Yeah.
think this is more like, no, I'll have one I'll have one just as a refresh. It's delicious. So I'll just have one that's refreshing, or I'll have one at a meal, or I'll have one. You know what I love? We had, so my best friend Janine is a musician. You know her.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She had her album release a few months ago, and Jim Blends was one of the sponsors. And as you know,
Yeah.
and what I loved was there people, it was like maybe 70, 80 people there in a backyard in LA, and it was very cool. Everybody's very cool. And like half the people had alcohol in their hand, and the other had gin in their hand. And everybody felt kind of like, it was just like, oh, cool. Like I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to like, try to keep up with everything. It's just like I'm getting to enjoy a delicious tasting beverage that also gives me a little bit of calm. And I don't have to then worry about what's going to happen the rest of the night. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think
neither of us are
when I read,
doctors, so we
no,
shouldn't make any claims,
no,
but like our
no, I'm not
experience
making
says a
any
lot.
claims. Yeah, and I think that you like hit the nail on the head. There are a lot of ingredients that you have to check with your doctor, or like I have lupus. So a lot of times I put like I have lupus. Am I allowed to have these things, or what could be my reaction? So I think
Wow.
that's smart. You can't make any claims on any holistic products, even Whole Foods. They always say this could promote healing, this could promote this, but like we can't say this will heal your body or heal your alcoholism or heal, you know what I mean?
No way.
This is just a really great beverage that you can still keep a ritual of having your nightly drink and then feeling really good the next morning.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it. And I'm just like, I just am still actually in disbelief that like we have now two flavors and that like we are Team Yachtwater Global and like 2026 is about to be lit. Okay.
It's about to be crazy. So let's talk a little bit more about the partnership. So as I said, we have
Yeah.
Yachtwater. We're going to take this. There is another Yachtwater in the U.S. By the way, everybody, where it's like it's an alcohol beverage. So don't get it confused. But we have partners. So we're co-founders of Yachtwater Global, and let's talk a little bit about like first of all this raise. So what we're doing as we are on WeFunder. We love WeFunder. We raised from 700, like before we met, I raised from 700 or so angel investors, essentially. That's what you are. You invest between $100 and $1,000. There are a couple people who invested like 5 or 10,000 who are like more anchor, but most people invested between $100 and $1,000. I see a lot of $300, $200, $100 ones. And we raised quite a bit to get us this far. And so now we're doing another one of those raises where, because people just kept writing to me, can I invest? I'm like, it's over. It already happened. Now we're back. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about where that's going to get, like, what does that help us do?
Yeah. So as I'm like, I'm all into strategy and like how to be visible, but I want to be smart about it because I think a lot of times people launch these beverages and launch these companies and they hustle so hard they burn themselves out. And I
Mm,
think you and I are both on the same page. We want to be like, make a difference and we want to be strategic about what we do and we want to get in the right places with the right people. So we have a lot of really cool opportunities like with expos and events where we can, showcase our product, but that also takes capital
yeah.
to build those things out. And so I think it's going to help us be seen more, marketing, some packaging. I don't know if you saw the package I sent to you. I put a little quote in there. I don't know if you
Yes,
saw that.
I
And
did.
so like I don't know if you saw that. I like to throw things like that in packages. So like
Yeah,
we want to put materials like that to inspire people when they open this that like, you're taking charge of your life. It's like a whole inspirational experience just sipping on
absolutely.
Gem,
No, it's
just
an
saying.
unboxing. Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
I received 8 because
Yeah.
this is our business, right? Like this is our company, but I wanted to receive it like a customer. And I did see your handwritten note. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw your handwritten.
Yeah.
I thought, I thought it was very special because I was your co-founder, but you do that for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
No, no, I
that's
did, but
that's
that's what I want
wonderful.
people to experience.
So it's about like getting into these expos and let people know even more like what are these expos, what do they like and what do they mean for a beverage brand like ours?
Yeah, so getting in front of the buyers for grocery stores like Sprouts, Whole Foods, Safeway, Total Wine is now like this is what's mind blowing is that 6 years ago, I was one of the first people to carry non-alc drinks, and people were like, thought I was losing my mind. They're like, you're going to open a non-alcoholic liquor store? Like, this is the stupidest idea. Like,
Yeah.
do you know? And now, 6 years later, Total Wine has half of their store dedicated to functional non-alcoholic beverages, a
Wow.
liquor store. So, like, and that's across the country. So, places like that where we can meet, interact. But also, I think the heart of my business, and I feel like yours is connecting with underrepresented business owners and smaller business. And so I think you get an opportunity to meet the small players too that actually help build your companies.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if anybody has been to Expo West or anything like that, but you build out these really cool booths that people can experience your culture, your mission, meet the founders, and then you get to sit down and interact with brands that like, I feel like we're going to be interviewing like, do we want to go in Sprouts? Like, I want to interview them just as much as they want to interview me. Like, I feel like that's where I'm at in my life, that it
Yeah.
has to feel aligned and it has to serve a bigger purpose
The
and
beauty.
generate income.
Yes, of course. And that's the beauty of us being the owners of this and then bringing retail investors, that's what they call it, retail investors. It's also called Reg CF, like regulation crowdfund. Us bringing like 1,000 of our investors who put in $100, $200. That's the beauty of it because we get to chart the course, and our investors get to see all the behind the scenes as we're doing it. So we can interview a Sprouts. Most people are like, I get inbound all the time from founders who are like, I got to get into Whole Foods. I got to get into Sprouts. We're actually, you just said we're going to audition them. And
Yeah, I feel like we should.
and I think also I love that because a lot of people are acting crazy out here. So we gotta be aligned. I also think the way that we're able to do that is our direct to consumer path because we have our website, because we have the ability to out of your HQ, or I guess our HQ.
Our
Our HQ from the brick and mortar that you've had for 6 years. It's really like a lot of our sales, most of our sales come from direct on the site. Like how has that, how did you sell almost 3,000 cans at that price point by yourself? How did you do that?
Yeah, so we have a beautiful consumer base. So we wanted to launch it there first because I feel like giving back to the people who supported me, exclusivity for them to experience it. I mean, I like grit. It's like grit out here. I went to farmers markets. I went to expos locally. I worked with like local events companies, and I just wanted them to sample and try this like kind of out of the box beverage. And that's really how we have went through our first palette of gem blends. And I think now it's just expanding a little bit further outside of, I'm in New Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. So that's where I'm located. So that's where it's really been penetrated. But we have on our website online, we have shipped gem blends across the country, like Wisconsin, Texas. So people are starting to slowly find out about it. But I think we have a new website launching in the next week, relaunch. And I think that we're really going to go heavy on social media and some campaigns with creators. And I think that's TikTok shop is like on the top of my list.
Yeah.
And to get people, like you said, the D2C is going to be really pivotal for us this year.
Well, actually, the website is, by the time this goes out, the website will be live.
Oh,
so
okay,
you
perfect.
will be able to, if you're watching this and your mouth is already watering, you will be able to order a drink. You'll be able to invest if there's still room. And it'll just, it's on. We're on. Like it's taken a while for this liftoff, but I think that the power of collaborating and partnering is like, now it's explosive because now we can do things like we each have our own kind of skills and like the things we enjoy doing the most. And we both make moves. Like
Yeah.
that's why even to begin with, like I saw you, I'm like, oh, she's already done all this. I always say, what have they done with what they have? And to
Mhm.
me, like that's the formula. It's like, oh wow, she's done so much with what she had. She didn't
Thank
come in here with an excuse about, oh, I didn't get investment, so I couldn't do anything. You're like,
you.
no, we're gonna sell, right? Like,
Yeah.
venture
Yeah.
capital is about an 80-year-old industry. People
Okay.
have been doing business for, millennia before then. It's like venture capital is not the end all. So I'm very, very excited about this grassroots way that we're doing it and the expansion. And just for anybody who doesn't know, like when you have a beverage, if we were to get into, like, let's say we got into 200 or 1,000 stores tomorrow, that would actually be a bad thing, because if we
Mhm.
couldn't sell out of those stores, we would never be asked to come back. And it would be like we'd have to like get the money to do all of that, and then we'd have to figure out, like how to sell it. So it's actually a really good thing that we're starting somewhere and we're slowly going to these local places and then building out. And we
Yeah.
have a conversation going with the largest grocer in a part of the country, and that conversation now gets to come back, right? Like we get to have
Yeah.
that
And like a music
conversation.
venue, right? Like a music
Multi-
venue you had been talking
multiple
to.
music venues, multiple, like, all of this started when we first came out with Yachtwater, um before the trademark issue. There was so many great conversations happening, and then it all got paused because of the trademark fight. So, and I couldn't say anything, like, legally, I couldn't talk about it publicly. So now we're good, like we're set, like, I think we now I get to go back and have those conversations and then new conversations. So if somebody's watching this right now, maybe you're on LinkedIn, maybe you're on, YouTube, or an investor looking at our WeFunder page, and you're somewhere and you're like, actually, yeah, like I work for dot dot dot, and they would love to have you as the official beverage, whether it's Gem, whether it's a certain SKU in Gem. We even have new flavors coming out later.
Yeah.
Or it's yacht water, or in the US we're going to call it Rock Grace, which is very
Yes.
cool, right? Do you want to talk about
Yeah.
your vision for that?
Yeah, so I acquired a brand called Rock Grace about a year ago, around the same time Arlan and I started working on this, partnership that it is now. And Rock Grace it was one of the first. It was like a functional beverage as well. It had
Yeah.
partnerships with like Four Seasons, Goop. It was really doing well, but at the founder, she was a little bit ahead of her time, and she was kind of trying to pivot. And her and I just connected in the beginning because I was one of her first retailers, and she really wanted somebody to take this product that could do something with it. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I honestly didn't, because I was in the process of building Gem. But like I said, I always say this: everything happens for a reason. So I
Yes.
acquired that at the same time Arlen and I met, and I think it fits beautifully. So we're gonna relaunch Rock Grace as like a sparkling water. We might even do like sparkling functional water down the line. If you are tapping into Arlen's your first million live in April, you'll be able to see a can design release then, if I'm allowed to share that.
Yes,
I
yes,
just
yes.
did.
You
But
just did.
so yeah, we just did. So you'll be able to see a little bit what's happening there. And we're hoping for a Q2 launch, or like end of Q2. We just like, again, we want to be strategical and not just throw everything at everyone at once.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a lot that happens behind the scenes, and then people just see a little bit of like the best parts of it. But there's a
Mhm.
lot of strategy and work that goes in all day long, every day. And so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing that. We have really cool people that we work with. We don't have like a big team. That's not like really the vibe right now. We just have really cool contractors that we work with, vendors that we work with, who are awesome and very creative, and like believe in this as much as we do. And we're just going to keep it going. We're going to, like, the next thing I want to do with Yachtwater is expand it into its first international location, whatever country. And there are like 3 countries that we're thinking about, and we'll get into that. But we're trademarked in like Japan. Like that, to me, that's wild. You know what I mean? So like we're gonna I think I know which country it's gonna end up being, but to have Yachtwater out will be great. And I know we've been talking about it for a couple of years now. So some people are like, wait a minute, didn't a couple of years ago you said you were going to do this? But we had that. This is what really happens in business. Like things happen. And then I was looking at one of my favorite businesses. Actually, I'll say what it is. It's School. So I was looking at
Yeah,
School,
yeah.
which is like, digital platform. And I didn't realize that they started in 2019. And
Wow, I didn't
2020,
know that either.
yeah, 2025 is when they became really popular. So
Yeah,
2019, they just worked and worked and worked for all of these years in a digital space. You would think they would have blown up during COVID, but they didn't. It was just all these things they had to figure out. And then it had its moment. Now they have 20 million users and grow by 70,000 per day. So it's
yeah.
pretty wild.
I love that you brought that up. I feel like resiliency is what makes a business owner and learning how to pivot. But also, like you said, a lot of people see, and I love Poppy, but a lot of people see Poppy that sold and they want to, they think that like it didn't take her. I mean, it took her 11 years to get where
Yeah,
she got. And that's incredible
Allison.
that she did that all in 11 years. Like I look up to her. She's somebody I follow now in the
Oh,
beverage space,
really?
and I have been. I carried Poppy in 2020 and it wasn't even in grocery stores at that time, in my
Wow.
store. And so I just think that, like you said, a lot of people see these online. They see entrepreneurs just like have this product and they're generating millions and they're all over the place. But they don't know that it took
It took
six,
so much.
10, 14 years
Yeah.
failing, relearning, having issues. Like you came across issues that you could not, you had to like get through them. And that took a while.
Yeah, and it's like there's a lot of integrity, if I'll say that. Like there's a lot of integrity that goes into it because I could have kind of gone against all this trademark stuff and tried to bully, and I was being bullied. I was really being bullied by the other trademark
Yeah.
holders. I'll say that out loud because it's over now.
Yeah.
But I could have done some dirty stuff, really. But I was like, you know what? I want this. I want to be happy when this wins, when this succeeds, even if it's going to take longer. So I want to do it right. And even like talking about Poppy. Remember when they were on Shark Tank years and years and years ago? It was called
Hmm.
Mother at the time. It
Yep.
was at farmers markets. It was very,
Yeah.
very like homegrown, very different than what it was. It was in bottles. It was very different than what it
Hmm.
is now. And
Yeah.
and then they got the investment and took months after that to actually get the actual investment, even though they got a yes on the show, because that's how it works on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And then they had to do a whole rebrand, like a whole and that took like almost a year. And then that
Yeah.
just leads you right into what you were talking about, like barely being known. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
excited. Like I think the next 2 to 3 years for these brands that we have and maybe new brands are going to be exciting.
Yeah. I just see so much over like the next year for us,
Yeah.
and you'll be seeing a lot more of us. You'll be
Yeah.
seeing a lot more of us in places.
And people who invest will also get to join in on helping to promote, and we'll have like
Mm,
fun kind of things that we ask you all to do and post online and things like that. Because that's like a superpower that we have. 1,000 or so people by the time this raise is over who all wanted to win and because they're all invested literally. I think that's going to be a
yeah.
lot of fun. And then I guess to just kind of close things out, when you think about the bigger picture too, I just kind of mentioned that we might have even more brands. Um, what are your thoughts about like that idea of us having more brands, having more SKUs, kind of really going for it?
I love that. And what I dealt with for 6 years in this non-alc space is nobody believed in it. There wasn't a house for me to go to. There was no home for me to go to be like, help me figure this out. And places like liquor companies have like Diageo, they have these huge, like brands that oversee all, like a lot of the liquor brands you drink are owned by one or two companies and they have a bunch underneath. And that's where they get help from behind the scenes, marketing. They have people that they can consult with. So my vision, and I think it was very aligned with yours, is like, why can't we create that for something in the non-alc industry, in the wellness beverage space? It doesn't exist. But a lot of people need the help, support, the navigation, and people who have actually been through the mud to get where they've gotten. And so I think that I see it being beautiful. And if the brands are aligned with how we align our company and our mission, I think we can grow and have some really cool brands underneath our belt.
Yeah, and that's what you're investing. If you're thinking about investing, that's what you'd be investing in is that top line. And let me say this too. I have to say it out loud. Um, our retail investor, like we're majority owners of the company, like, and it's very rare that like a company like this would have outside investors who put in $100. So what you get from that is like you get upside if we do well over the next years, but it's going to take a while. Okay. So in the meantime, you get quarterly updates from us and you get to see behind the scenes of how this is built. So it's like very educational, but it's like, and then we do ask like surveys, like, what do you think maybe our next flavor should be or something like that. And that's where your $100 really gets to work. So it's just kind of like you're buying into the experience and the education of it. And nobody should invest more than they are willing to have illiquid, no pun, illiquid, not able to touch for years. That's just how this goes, right? But it's a lot of fun to be on the inside, kind of behind the scenes of it. I'm very excited. I think like I'm looking at it's funny now because it's like subliminal. Like I'm looking at the different cans. I
Yeah.
have like 6 of these in my fridge right now. And I don't have the passion fruit. And I'm craving the passion fruit.
Okay.
You know
All
what I'm
right. Well, I
saying?
need to send you some passion.
But absolutely. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's very
Yeah.
cool because it's like
Yeah.
I'm craving it. It's been a few weeks since I've had it because we were getting ready for our new flavor. And I just feel like these are just perfect for, oh man, when the summer comes around, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's going to
I
be
know.
crazy. Picnics and people, going out, just being outside and oh, that's going to be
Yeah.
awesome. That's going to be so
My
cool.
mom said it would be really good over crushed ice. She was like, the lemon
Oh,
lime over crushed ice. We all sampled it when it arrived at my shop. And she's like, I just feel like this would be so good over crushed ice. And I was like, ooh, that's a vibe. Like,
I
we're
can
going to have
taste
to
it
do a
right
little
now.
video of that.
That
Yeah.
would be great. Yeah, the videos would be beautiful. Like pouring that over
Yeah.
crushed ice. Okay, it's done. It's a
Yeah.
done deal. It's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So definitely look at the description below, the pinned comment. Get your cans of the new Gem lemon lime flavored with a splash of ginger. And you can also see how you can become an angel investor in our brand. Give us a chance. We're going to go out there and see what we can make happen. And we cannot wait to show you what we do next.